Question 1. Which psychologist proposed that children develop through stages of cognitive growth using schemas? A. Lev Vygotsky, B. Edward Thorndike, C. David Kolb, D. Jean Piaget. Answer: D. Jean Piaget. Question 2. The zone of proximal development is associated with A. Erik Erikson, B. Lev Vygotsky, C. Benjamin Bloom, D. Friedrich Froebel. Answer: B. Lev Vygotsky. Question 3. Learning occurs through trial and error according to A. Edward Thorndike, B. Ivan Pavlov, C. Clark Hull, D. Carl Jung. Answer: A. Edward Thorndike. Question 4. Which theorist proposed the hierarchy of needs? A. Carl Jung, B. Abraham Maslow, C. David Ausubel, D. Robert Gagné. Answer: B. Abraham Maslow. Question 5. Which theory emphasizes unconscious motives and psychosexual stages? A. Erikson's psychosocial theory, B. Kohlberg's moral development theory, C. Freud's psychosexual theory, D. Bloom's cognitive domain. Answer: C. Freud's psychosexual theory. Question 6. Who proposed the 9 events of instruction? A. Benjamin Bloom, B. Robert Gagné, C. David Ausubel, D. Edgar Dale. Answer: B. Robert Gagné. Question 7. Who proposed the law of apperception? A. Johann Herbarth, B. David Krathwohl, C. Jean Piaget, D. Sigmund Freud. Answer: A. Johann Herbarth. Question 8. Who developed the cognitive domain taxonomy? A. David Krathwohl, B. Benjamin Bloom, C. Edgar Dale, D. Robert Gagné. Answer: B. Benjamin Bloom. Question 9. Who proposed latent learning? A. Edward Tolman, B. Ivan Pavlov, C. B. F. Skinner, D. Abraham Maslow. Answer: A. Edward Tolman. Question 10. Who classified personalities into extroverts and introverts? A. Clark Hull, B. Carl Jung, C. Edward Tolman, D. David Krathwohl. Answer: B. Carl Jung. Now, let's make it situational. Question 11. Despite having the opportunity to cheat, a student remains honest because she believes ethical principles should always be upheld. Which theorist supports this type of moral reasoning? A. Erik Erikson's theory, B. Lawrence Kohlberg's theory, C. Sigmund Freud's theory, D. David Krathwohl's theory. You know the answer. Right, it's letter B, Lawrence Kohlberg's moral development theory. Question 12. A teacher pairs a higher-achieving student with a classmate to help solve a challenging problem. Which learning theory best explains this instructional strategy? A. Sociocultural theory, B. Cognitive development theory, C. Connectionism theory, D. Analytical psychology theory. Answer: A. Sociocultural theory. Question 13. A teacher uses repeated practice and drills to help students become proficient in their multiplication facts. Which learning theory best supports this instructional approach? A. Moral development theory, B. Meaningful learning theory, C. Connectionism theory, D. Analytical psychology theory. Answer: C. Connectionism theory. Question 14. A student begins showing respectful behavior after observing and admiring the class president's actions. Which learning theory best explains this behavior? A. Cognitive development theory. B. Social learning theory. C. Psychoanalytic theory. D. Experiential theory. Answer: B. Social learning theory. Question 15. During a classroom cleanup, one learner volunteers to help because he believes doing what is morally right is more important than receiving recognition. Which theory best explains this situation? A. Psychosocial theory. B. Hierarchy of needs. C. Moral development theory. D. Cognitive theory. Answer: C. Moral development theory. Good job! Congratulations on finishing this short quiz.